Thank you all for coming here today. My name is Ho-Bom Kwan. I'm from Samsung Research. I work for Tizen. I'm excited to share the latest updates about Tizen with you. Here are three important numbers I want you to remember. The first one is number 10. This year, we celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Tizen, which was introduced right here in San Francisco in 2012. Maintaining large-scale open source project like Tizen for 10 years is an amazing achievement. For 10 years, hundreds of developers at Samsung have researched, developed, tested, and released new milestones every single year. Let's meet some of Tizen developers.
저는 타이젠 개발자입니다. 제 개발의 첫 시작을 타이젠의 시작과 함께 했죠. 몇 년이나 됐냐고요? 무려 10년입니다. 10년.
지금까지 다양한 디바이스를 위한 타이젠을 만들어 왔습니다. 모바일부터 시작해서 웨어러블, TV, 그리고 최근에는 IoT 디바이스를 위한 타이젠도 개발해오고 있죠. 이제 타이젠은 그 영역을 더욱 넓혀서 더 많은 기기들을 포함해 나가고 있습니다.
타이젠을 개발하면서 가장 즐거운 순간들은 새로운 기기들을 위한 타이젠을 준비할 때인 것 같습니다. 매번 새로운 기기들이 추가될 때마다 그 기기를 위한 개발 환경을 만들고 테스트하고 또 우리의 개발 파트너들이 보다 쉽게 타이젠 앱과 서비스를 만들 수 있도록 오픈소스를 준비하는 그 순간이야말로 타이젠 개발을 다른 무엇보다 매력적이게 만드는 것 같습니다.
All of those efforts enable Tizen to be a highly stable open source platform it is today. Also, throughout the 10 years, we have worked closely with partners and third-party developers to expand the Tizen ecosystem. The next number is 330 million. There are more than 330 million devices using Tizen. These devices include all the Samsung Smart TVs, smart consumer electronic devices, and many more. This number proves how Tizen is powerful and reliable enough to be deployed on commercial products. Let's just go over how Tizen has evolved over the past 10 years. Our earliest version of Tizen was designed for specific products like cameras, mobiles, TVs, but that caused fragmentation in the source code. So we introduced Tizen Common, which was common on every Tizen device and product-specific profiles. Following that, we added .NET for better enhanced developer environment and also allow creators to be more flexible with the building blocks. Expanding features to interact with various cloud services such as Samsung SmartThings and Samsung Account, all the way to Tizen being utilized for AI, on-device AI, such as NN Streamer and NN Trainers. Last year, we expanded device intelligence using our multi-device experience framework, such as AI off-roading frameworks and resource off-roading frameworks. That leads us our last number 7. Today, we are introducing Tizen 7.0 and the advancements that all developers will get with it. The main progress of Tizen 7.0 include work considering new Tizen devices and also strengthening intelligent device and service features. Core platform technologies are needed to prepare for our future with metaverse and robots. These enhancements include OpenXR runtime support, real-time enabled kernel, and many more. Let's take a deeper dive into Tizen 7.0. Here to help us with that is Ms. Shin, a leader of Tizen graphics team at Samsung Research.
Thank you, Mr. Kwon. Hi, I'm Hyunju Shin, and I'm leading Tizen Graphics and UI framework. I'd like to talk about providing more natural user interface on a large screen device. Let's think about the representative interface of smartphone and TVs. The touch interface of smartphone is very intuitive, so it is widely used by children and the elderly. How about the remote control of TV? I'm sure many of you may have experienced the difficulty of entering text using the up, down, left, and right keys on a remote control. Then you can say, well, I can use voice instead. But the issue with this assumption is that some applications support voice input, but some do not. The problem lies in the fact that voice is not an event processed by the platform side. It's only additional features processed by each application itself. So Tizen provides UI assistance technology that enables users to control the UI through voice without additional processing in applications. The UI assistance is not entirely new. It was already available as an accessibility feature. Now it has been expanded so that it can be generally used throughout the UI. This is a Tizen UI application. It can be a native or a web. This is a service application using UI Assistance API. Since Accessibility Framework and UI toolkits are communicating with each other, the service application can understand the UI and control them. This is a mini avatar UI assistance service example. Mini avatar displayed on a separate layer, and it enables more natural interaction by showing the appropriate feedback for the situation. And it shows automatically generated commands for all controllable UI objects. And when user says a command, it sends event to the selected object. Let's see how the mini avatar can support voice interaction.
Six.
The mini avatar is analyzing the screen.
2.
You can easily input words or sentence through voice.
Flying.
If you use this with AI voice assistant, such as Bixby, you will be able to use the device in a consistent interaction method, voice. Interest in 3D user interface on large screen devices is growing rapidly. I'd like to introduce how to create 3D user interface and the efforts we are making to increase usability. This is a simple example of using 3D content to give you richer information about the product. In general, 2D and 3D content are rendered by separate engine, and the result are composited and shown on the screen. But Tizen provides a unified rendering engine. All UI elements have depth information, and they are located in a 3D space. As all elements are rendered together, we can optimize the rendering path and minimize the memory uses. The biggest advantage is that it reduced the complexity quite significantly for creating 3D UI. This is because almost all features used in 2D UI applications, such as event handling, text input, animation, and accessibility, etc., are still available in 3D. We've also added new APIs that enables developers to create even more complex 3D user interface. The scene view represents a 3D space. You can add 3D models and 2D panels. By setting the camera and light configuration, all UI elements are naturally combined and rendered to the screen. To express the movement of 3D characters, skeletal and facial animation are supported. Additionally, if you define multiple cameras for a space, SceneView interpolates the camera information and provides seamless camera transition effect. Navigation in 3D space without mouse or touch interface is a challenge. To minimize the difficulty, we provide an interface that determines a path to the target object and moves automatically along the path. Selecting the target object is possible via remote control or voice, just like in a 2D application. This is a reference application using the new 3D API. It starts with camera transition effect. When users select a target object, camera moves automatically along the path. This is a 3D avatar example that mimics human movement. Tizen provides the easiest way to create a combined 2D and 3D application. Mr. Kwon will continue the rest of the presentation. Thank you.
Lots of time and effort to develop hardware abstraction layers, and Tizen has introduced its HAL APIs in Tizen 6.5. While we have some success with this, still many SoC chip makers only support Android. To address this issue, we introduced a new solution to run Tizen on Android-supported SoC by providing an adaptation bridge to Android HAL. To make Tizen run on Android HAL and Kernel, we added open source library libhybris and defined a new glue layer to access hardware devices through the Android HAL. Also, to solve compatibility issue between Bionic in Android and glibc in Tizen, we used the separate namespaces for Android system and HAL container. And also, to take advantage of Bionic-based vendor libraries, an efficient relocation table and hooks were introduced. To test it, we used the commercial Android phones, and as a result, we were able to see all the core features working correctly without significant performance degradation. Currently, we support Android 9 hardware abstraction layer, and we will continue to support more up-to-date version of Android HAL in the future. Let's talk about the cross-platform technology in Tizen 7.0. If you are using popular cross-platform frameworks such as Web, Flutter, or MAUI, you can deploy your service to Tizen devices with just minimum effort. Let's start with Web. Web is arguably most widely used cross-platform technology, and more services are based on Web on Tizen devices also. So it is business critical to support up-to-date web engine on Tizen device. To achieve that, we need to reduce time and effort to port a new version of open source Chromium web engine. A big move we took with Tizen 7.0 was re-architecturing our web engine porting layer. Instead of using our SIG Tizen platform port, we now use Chromium's Aura Windows systems and also Ozone abstraction layer. As a result, we reduced significant porting effort. Around 50% of code was removed. In LOC, more than 100,000 lines in total. Let's talk about the Flutter support improvement. we put in significant effort to make Flutter apps smoothly on Tizen TV. Flutter was introduced by Google in 2016 and has gained huge popularity among developers, more than 600,000 apps in Google Play Store today. Last year, we introduced Flutter Tizen SDK, and this year, we continue to support more first-party plugins such as Google Maps and third-party plugins such as audio players, Flutter TCS, and also Tizen dedicated plugins. You can now use Google Sign-in on Flutter Tizen TV applications, and new accessibility features were introduced, such as screen reader, larger font, and sufficient contrast. Flutter WebRTC was introduced to communicate with the popular WebRTC frameworks. But we think this is not enough to fully access all the powerful features of Tizen. So we introduced native platform API binding in Tizen 7.0. It provides a way to call any Tizen public native APIs in C and C# language from your Flutter Tizen Dart application. One European streaming service company called Oscillion is building Tizen application. As you can see in this video, Oscillion creates beautiful and dynamic apps with the Flutter Tizen SDK. We look forward to working with more companies to develop more apps with the Flutter Tizen SDK. The next advancement is the new MAUI support on Tizen. MAUI is the latest cross-platform framework by Microsoft, announced this past May, and MAUI apps will be supported by Tizen 7.0. Based on widely used .NET Framework and Visual Studio tools, MAUI has 3 key improvements over the previous version, Xamarin. The first one is single project. MAUI provides single project for Android, iOS, Windows, and Tizen, and it is much simpler and cleaner structure than before. The second one is richer UI controls. And third one is essential device APIs are added into the MAUI project. With .NET MAUI, you can also take advantage of Blazor Hybrid, which provides a way to create applications using interactive web UI with existing C# APIs. Unlike EFA-based Xamarin Forms in the previous version of Tizen, Tizen 7.0 introduced new NUI backend for the MAUI. NUI backend support richer animation and effect, easy UI customization, and many more. But our main focus was to achieve the best scroll performance. We had some scroll performance issue with the EFA-based Xamarin Forms app, but with NUI backend, the MAUI apps can maintain the best scroll performance even with lots of images and nested layout. So let's talk about Tizen as an IoT platform. If you are building a smart home, you have many choices of home IoT platform, such as, of course, Samsung SmartThings, Amazon Alexa, and many more. But the problem is they are not interoperable because they use their own protocols. To solve this issue, a new standard called Matter defines universal networking protocols. So if you buy a Matter-supported device, it can connect to any IoT platforms that support Matter. So then who support Matter? Over 80 companies already announced the Matter support, including Google, Apple, and Amazon, and also Samsung SmartThings. Matter uses Wi-Fi and Thread for data communication, and also Bluetooth is used for the provisioning. Through Matter certification, Matter devices can trust each other, and guarantee the correctness of behavior with other Matter devices. The Tizen team has actively participated in Matter open source project. Now the first version of open source Matter SDK is now ready to use. Tizen TB already passed all the tests of Matter specification validation event and is now ready to be Matter certified. For the future era of hyperconnectivity and intelligence, Tizen 7.0 aims to become a device and service platform that leads users' need and exceed market expectation by offering natural, realistic 3D UI, better hardware compatibility using the Android Hub, lowering barriers for developers by offering multiple cross-platform frameworks, and bringing home IoT intelligence through the Matter support. Our goal is continue to demonstrate the power of Tizen by adding it to millions more devices going beyond 330 million. Thank you. So now we will take any question you may have, and we can continue to answer your questions outside or at the lounge.